Yo, what's up guys? How is everyone doing? Okay guys, so today we've been seeing some relatively small developments in the market, so nothing huge. Am I live? It says I'm not live. Okay, I am. Yeah, so I mean, we've been seeing some, it hasn't been huge, but I mean, we look at this 4-hour chart here. Just put my phone on silent. And guys, as you are getting in, make sure you say hello and drop your questions and all that. This is going to be a short one, like I said in Telegram, but there is still some important things to go over. Really not too much, but it's still going to be hopefully helpful to you guys in this one. So, you know, what we've been seeing today is just a slow, gradual sort of decline from a high of about, 67.80, going down to where we are right now, which is pretty much the low of today, and that is, the 66, high 66 range. So, nothing really has changed. We're still obviously in this rising wedge. It's largely just been sideways movement today. Dominance coming from the bears, of course, as we know. But we didn't hit any interesting levels. Volume has been drying up. But like I mentioned in the Telegram post, let's actually check out the volume here. It should be under 12 billion now, if I'm not mistaken. Wait for this to load. Yeah, I mean 11.5 billion. So really dropping quite a bit. We were something like $13 billion volume yesterday. We've got quite a few people saying hello. Welcome all of you guys. Great to see you here as usual. And $11.5 billion volume. Like I said, this is expected. We've been moving sideways. I mean, the whole market hasn't been doing anything really. It's much more of a red day than recently, but we've also got coins like Nano, and I saw Centrality up like 77% or something crazy like that. Let's see if we can find that. Yeah, so 43%. It's had its retrace, obviously, as it was going to happen. Brian from Northern Ireland, amazing. The right side of Ireland. So, with this kind of volume, you'd expect it. It's a consolidation trend. But guys, since volume has been drying off, it's actually sort of adding to my bearish bias the way I'm seeing it, because you guys have heard me say for the past couple of days now, I'm bearish on Bitcoin. I'm going to be shorting it, and I see it dropping, firstly obviously to the support of this rising wedge, but even more importantly to drop below this rising wedge and probably go down to the low 6,000s and get a drop over there, maybe consolidate around there a little bit, or even break down into the 5,000s, very possible. So it's it's a cause for concern for the bulls, but just the longer this goes on for, the longer we get a pattern like this, the more confident it makes me feel that Bitcoin is actually going to be headed down. So I've still got this rectangle from yesterday, and guys, this is lining up perfectly. I mean, how long have we got until we enter this rectangle? I mean, yeah, literally just 16 hours. So by tomorrow, we'll be trading within this rectangle, assuming we haven't already broken down. And really, that's not leaving much time left. I think this TA is lining up to be pretty accurate. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, this is a quick one. It's only been 4 minutes. Wow, that's a new record for me. Guys, drop your questions now. I'm about to go through them. I've just got one more thing I want to bring up. This guy has posted some really good TA. Crypto Yaz, I've made a lot of money trading with him. He's an awesome guy in... what's his name? Korean Jews Dojo. He's one of the analysts there. Really good TA. And he's actually posted this chart, which is the Bitcoin short. So you guys see me talking about this chart all the time on these streams, and one thing I never even really noticed is this cup and handle, which it's so obvious. I mean, now that I've noticed it, I can't ignore it. But what he's gone ahead and said is shorts doing a cup and handle, a break of the swing high around 28,500, so that's how many short contracts there are. Should see the trend align with the bears. I expect something to be cooking in the next couple days, so this is probably going leaning bearish. And also note the 32,000 to 37,000 gap, so that's probably going to be between the longs and the shorts. There is an imbalance there, so let's actually check out how the longs are looking at the moment. Yeah, Keith, a lot of TA technical analysts are saying bear. It's actually a cause for concern for me, because as we all know, the markets generally don't move the way everyone thinks they do. So the more we get people piling on to this same TA, the more it makes me feel less confident. But directly contradicting that, what I've also just said literally like a minute ago, is that the more this goes on, the more this trend, the drying up volume, the sideways movement, that kind of thing, the more that goes on, the more it makes me feel confident in my bearish bias. So really, it's tricky. It's just it's hard to say what's going on. But yeah, I mean, we look at these longs, it's at 30,000 and 300, you know, really, I mean, kind of piling up a little bit, especially since yesterday. Why anyone would be longing here, I don't know. Maybe they know something I don't. We go over to the shorts chart. Yeah, I mean, I definitely see that gap that Yaz has mentioned here. It's not 32,000. I must have read something wrong there, but it is 25,000, which leaves a gap of about 5,000 between shorts and longs. And guys, like I mentioned in the last stream, you know, these shorts are at a support. It's been completely sideways. Again, I don't know why more people haven't been shorting, so we're probably going to get some of that relatively soon. I mean, today we have seen a declining price with shorts seeing a bit of a jump up, but really nothing to note. But I mean, apart from that, that's my TA done on Bitcoin. I mean, it's literally the same as yesterday. Not much has changed. So if you did miss my video yesterday, my live stream, then definitely check that out. I'm just gonna go through a couple of these questions now. Just not enough volume to push it up from Mr. Ryan Toker. Yeah, there's not. I mean, whatever power the bulls have gets exhausted very quickly, and it just doesn't stick around. Loudmouth asking about the last price drop. If you mean for the general trend, you know, the long-term trend, yeah, I think it's possible that we're going to see one last price drop. A lot of people are also calling capitulation, so one massive capitulation candle, maybe on the daily, something like we saw dropping us down to 6k way back in February. You know, a capitulation sort of time like that, very possible as well. You know, one last one of those before we go bull again. I don't know. I think it's possible though. But in terms of, you know, at least another drop, definitely I think is going to happen. But they're saying it is healthy thoughts. So yeah, of course, I mean, it's always healthy to consider both sides of the equation. Alexander, what about the strong 6,000 support? Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think it's strong, man. Like I said, this was, you know, we're going back maybe a few weeks now, maybe. I forgot, but yeah, about 2 weeks ago now, I was talking about this 6,400 level, which is over here. I don't know why I'm pointing over here. The 6,400 level here, and we just breached it really easily. Now, of course, we did bounce back pretty quickly, but I mean, considering how easily we dumped through 6,400, that was, in my books, the last main support for Bitcoin before we start seeing the 5,000s. If 6,400 could have been dropped so easily, then I have no faith in 6,000 being a strong support line. I mean, it's just, you know, let's check out 6,000. Okay, so we've had some sideways trading here, but I mean, you know, like I said, if 64 can get breached that easily, and we're in a rising wedge like this, I mean, we look at how big these dump-offs are. Let's actually check it out. See what kind of drops we're looking at from the high to the low, minus 17%, and I'm assuming it's going to be a similar story for all of these. 11%. So let's go in the middle. Let's go for a let's go for 12%, you know, to be conservative, and see what kind of a drop we're looking at. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's already 12-13%. We're already looking at the 5,800 level, and I can definitely see a dump off taking us this low. And like I've been saying in my recent streams, 58, 59 is a possible area for support. So that would line up pretty well, especially with these kinds of dumps we're seeing. You know, I mean, RSI is climbing as well. You know, it's just not looking great, honestly. Placed a 3x short 3 hours ago. Are fees charged every 4 hours? Market order chairs. The Kirk, if you're talking about BitMEX, no, they don't charge you fees over and over. They only charge you a fee the time that you place an order. So it's just on your short, which you put a 3x on, so you'll be fine. It'll blow right through 68. So, oh, sorry, 6,000. Yeah, no, Ryan Toker, I think I feel the same, honestly. I don't, you know, 6,000 isn't a very significant number for me. Especially, I mean, you know, I had targets of maybe 6,400 just to be conservative, because with my short setup, even if we go down to 6,400, I think I've already got more than a 2x, and I'm very happy with that. But the market isn't going to stop when I've made my profit; it's going to stop when it wants to. And if we look at how it dumped before, it does look like 64 and lower is very possible. That's not rising wedge, it's ascending triangle. No, this is a rising wedge. You know, you dropped, and we've been rising. It's a rising wedge. It could be an ascending triangle as well, definitely. Let's draw that line. I mean, it's a bit more difficult, but you know, there are multiple interpretations to the same thing every time. But you know, call it what you want. Ascending triangle, bull flag, rising wedge. It's all the same thing. Maybe not so much for an ascending triangle, but it's all a continuation of a downtrend. It's very clear. I'm surprised there's still a bullish sentiment at the moment. You know, this is the exact same pattern we've seen play out so many times. Maybe that's a reason that it's not going to play out this time. And of course, the price level reflects that, because 6,000, 6,100 makes sense to be the triple bottom. But like I always say, the volume is preventing that from being a reality. Oh, I completely forgot to even look at this shorts chart. I was just talking about what he said with these contract numbers, but yeah. So I mean, we've dumped off. This was when April the 12th, when we pumped from like 68 to about 8,100. That was the high. Gave a massive short squeeze, and it's basically formed a cup. We're forming the handle now, and given that support, shorts are on a support, it does look very likely that it's about to make that classic cup and handle formation. And like I've always said, it's weird to do TA on a shorts or longs chart, but you know, the more I've been looking at it, the more it looks like it does apply, especially to the shorts. So I definitely think this is something that can play out. It's, you know, I think it's coming soon, honestly. I mean, we've been in this range for too long now. Like I said in the last stream, the more this goes on for, the more it makes me feel like we're ready for a significant move. Great, thanks, but no problem. The real question is, how long after the bear will it head back up to current and surpassing levels? Keith, yeah, I mean, that is the real question. Everything else doesn't really matter when you consider that. And I have no idea. I wish I could answer that, but I really do not know. I am now seeing people saying things like it's not even going to happen this year, because you've got to bear in mind we're now heading into the 7th month of 2018. I know it doesn't feel like it, because we've all been obsessing over Bitcoin's price since the start of the year, but time has passed, and time will keep on passing at the same rate it has been. So it's possible that the recovery doesn't even happen this year, but like I always say, you know, these are things you just cannot predict. I saw Charlie Lee on an interview with CNBC Fast Money, and he said that he thinks we're going to go bull fairly soon. Those were exact 2 words, fairly soon. And Charlie Lee called the top around December the 17th, something like that. He sold all of his Litecoin. He said, you know, these cryptocurrency markets can go down to 0 at any time. Very suspicious kind of tweet. And then immediately after that, sometime after that, the markets went bear, and it's been like that until now. So it's not a reason to invest, you know, just based off what Charlie Lee says on an interview with mainstream media, but you know, my point is it can happen at any time. There are predictions of 2 years, there are predictions of never, and then there's Charlie Lee with fairly soon, and that could mean weeks and months. Probably more like weeks. You know, but like I said, I'm, you know, this is too hard to predict. You can't predict this kind of thing. I'm just taking it by the day and making profits daily. That's the best I can do. And it works pretty well. It works better than the average trader, definitely. You know, trying to predict these long-term swings and then opening like 10 trades a day. It just doesn't work that way. I are nobody, amazing grammar. Do you think we are repeating the pattern from May 29th to June the 9th? Let's see what that looked like. May 29. Where was May? Okay, May 29 to June the 9th. Yes, I are nobody. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we're doing, I think. I've said that in previous streams. You know, it's just a rising wedge, and the same thing happened before. It's eerily similar. I mean, this kind of stability and the short and long squeezes and stability again followed by a dump, it's so similar to what we saw between May the 29th and June the 9th. The 55 and 99 EMA on the 2 to 4 hour is about to cross upwards, like it did around those days. Okay, so that looks like a tease, you know. Let's check out what my EMAs are doing here. So yeah, I mean, the EMA 13 has crossed above the 48, so that is a bullish crossover, but it also happened back here twice. So, you know, we're on the 4 hour. We look at something like the daily, and that's much better confirmation. And yeah, it did also happen over here as well. So, again, not a reliable, and back here, so not a reliable indicator. These are all fake outs. So just you know, it's a classic example of where TA doesn't work perfectly every time. You know, something like the EMA crossover I think is much better applied to a bull market, where we have temporary setbacks fueled by FUD, but nothing on this scale. I think bullish in mid-July. Yeah, I mean, Ryan Tucker, it's possible. Like I said before, I think August is where I'm placing my money, just because July was quite bearish last year. There's no reason it won't be this year, of course, but just assuming past patterns repeat themselves, I am going with August. But again, you know, these are predictions that you cannot hold me to, because I'm not even looking that far. I'm looking at what's going to happen tomorrow, and I always have been. It's not possible to keep on looking about these, to keep on looking at the long term and be accurate with it. Once it hits bottom, it should come back up quickly. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that once we drop down to a bottom, we quickly wick back up. We get a V-shaped correction, like on the 6th of February, like this. Very possible. That would happen if we drop very low. So if we drop maybe to $5,000 in one day, I think that would definitely happen. Loud mouth bugger, Charlie Lee is the worst thing that ever happened to crypto. What's your reason for that? I don't know. I really respect him. I think he's one of the best people in the space. I sense 5,500, then moved to 11,700. Yeah, no, I think that is very likely what could happen. You know, maybe 55, 58, whatever. I think that's extremely likely to happen. What about the Google trends for Bitcoin? Have you seen it? Yeah, Alexander, I looked over it in one of the recent streams. It's just had a bit of an uptick. Really, I think that's just organic. I don't think there's any good reason behind it. Organic is a good reason itself, but I don't think that's going to have any... I mean, you know, okay, there's a Google trend increase, but the volume is still down, so it's not really correlating with anything bullish. You know, even in a bear market like this, there are going to be bullish events, like that Tether cleanup sort of news we had, where Tether turned out to be like a real thing with real dollars backing every single one of the Tethers, the Tether coins circulating. That's definitely bullish news, but what did it do for the market? You know, pretty much nothing. So we are going to get small pieces of bullish information like that as we go down, but the overarching trend right now is unfortunately bearish. In this market, you have to keep it short term for sure. Yeah, CY Agley. Yeah, I mean, you just can't look at the long term. It's crypto. It's completely unpredictable. But if you look at the short term, you can predict with relative accuracy, like I've been doing. And you can still make profits if you're smart with how much you put in to each trade. Bartek, can you show the Ichi cloud? Yes, I can. Bartek, are you the same guy that... Did I ask this before? That we used to speak? Okay, so this is the Ichi cloud. Yeah, actually, I wanted to bring this up. Thanks for reminding me. So, you know, what we've been seeing here is a... Oh, God, this is so typical. I mean, you know, form a double top. You know, we hit this high in the Ichi cloud, go down, hit the high again in an M shape. An M shape is a very bearish sign, by the way. And we're in the Ichi cloud. And right now what we're seeing is, you know, we've been battling this resistance. And so the Ichi cloud in July... Is this July? That's not July, is it? Yeah, no, this is still late June. But the Ichi cloud is widening here because we're battling such big resistance here. So it does mean it's going to be tricky to even breach this area if we go to, you know, this kind of price level by late June, which I don't think is going to happen. But no, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. This just looks so typical, honestly. I mean, I didn't even notice this until now. You know, we've got this double top and then another one here. And guys, the trend with these double tops are that they're getting much smaller and they're coming in a shorter space of time, followed by relatively large dumps. So, you know, the first double top we had was here, 11.6. You know, then the second one was this is more of a relative double top. It wasn't very concrete, but this was about the $10,000 range, and then much more recently 7,700, and now again at 6,800. So this is a very clear trend. I mean, I can see this going maybe sideways a little bit until we hit this yellow box. I really hope it's going to hit this yellow box. It's going to look pretty cool. And then dump off, I think it's extremely likely. But, you know, the more people agree on this, the more it makes me feel less confident in it. Because that could result in the bots moving it the other way. But like I showed you with this shorts chart, I mean, shorts are very low right now compared to longs. And they're in an Ichi support, if that counts for anything. Probably not. Whales even manipulating Google Trends. Yeah, it's possible. I don't think you can. Google's probably pretty smart with that. But yeah, I mean, if you've got money, you might find a way. Your thoughts on the Bitcoin ETF talks? I think it's amazing. If you're talking about like NASDAQ getting in, I am super bullish on that. I've actually had a video specifically about that. Which, like I mentioned previously, I wanted to put out. This was supposed to be a short stream. You guys are spoiling me. Where I was talking about one specific coin that NASDAQ pulled up. But that video has been delayed now, probably until we have some brighter times. Bartek, yeah, I'm the same guy. Yeah, it's great to see you here, man. I'm glad you're still sticking around. It's been a while. I think you're one of our earlier members, right? But yeah, guys, I mean, I'm pretty much done here. I am short on time today. And, you know, just to quickly recap, it's more of the same, unfortunately. We have been ranging downwards a little bit today. It just looks so clear to me that we're going to go down now. I mean, it's such a definite thing. And the only thing making me feel like it won't happen is just that so many other people feel the same way. And usually that's not a good sign. But we will have to continue watching this to see what happens. Of course, I'll be giving you all my updates in the Telegram channel. The link is in the description. And guys, if you are interested in Crypto Yaz, you can check out his Twitter page. He's a great analyst. Really do need to, you guys do need to check him out. And of course, you know, if you're not subscribed, if you haven't liked this video already, only 18 likes but 200 viewers. Guys, that's not fair. Maybe I'm not up to date with that. Let me refresh. Nope, yeah, that was up to date. So yeah, guys, if you could smash those likes one last time. Bubble popping on stocks already, it's possible. Yeah, shorts forming a cup and handle. Yeah, we went over that a little bit earlier, but yeah, guys, so I am going to be signing off here. I hope you have had a good one. I hope you've learned something. I hope you feel a little bit more confident in your trades, maybe. Whatever the deal is, maybe you found some value. That's the least that could happen. But that's also the best case scenario. So, guys, do have a great day. You should do Discord instead of Telegram. I do prefer Telegram, but I will look into Discord. I have been. But yeah, guys, thanks so much, and I'm out. Peace.